So let's talk about this fight that's coming up, and that's Renan Barao versus Urijah Faber. They fought once before, and in that fight, Renan Barao pretty much outclassed Urijah Faber in every single aspect of mixed martial arts. But Urijah Faber is on fire right now. We all saw what he did to Michael McDonald, and that was a total destruction. So I believe that this second fight with Renan Barao is going to be a much more competitive fight. And I'm going to give you guys my prediction. But before I get to that, I want to talk about a few things that I noticed about both guys in the last fight. First, I'll talk about Urijah Faber. Now, Urijah Faber is well-rounded, but he's not as well-rounded as he needs to be in order to beat a guy like Renan Barao. In the first fight, he was mostly boxing. He threw a few kicks here and there, but he was mostly using his hands. He was mostly using his right hand. He didn't throw a lot of combinations. He didn't use his jab. Actually, he barely used his left hand. In the fight, he was mostly charging it with a right hand, as you see right here. He didn't set it up. He just charged in, and every time he did that, he got countered. Now, if you're going to lead with your right hand, that right hand better have blinding speed, explosion, and accuracy behind it. Like the kind of right hand that Roy Jones throws, as you see right here. Now notice how much distance he covered with that right hand, and notice how fast that was. Urijah cannot cover that kind of distance, and he can't let his hands go fast enough, especially against Barao. That's why, in my opinion, he needs to abandon that strategy of just rushing in with a right hand. Also, something else I noticed was the way Urijah was carrying his hands. Occasionally, he tried to implement a boxing tactic where you lower your left hand and keep your right hand up to distract your opponent. But the problem with doing that is, unless you have a mean, disgusting left hand, that tactic is pretty much useless. And it was useless against Barao because Faber does not have a solid left hook or left jab or left uppercut. Also, when boxers carry their right hand like that, it's usually used as a very sneaky parry, where they parry your jab, throw a left hand, and follow up, as you see Roy Jones doing right here. Notice how he moves that jab out the way, counters with the left hand, and follows up with the right. You need to have a mean left hand if you're going to carry your hands in that way, especially against a guy as dynamic as Renan Barao. You cannot expect to beat him with just boxing, and you can't beat him by just throwing your right hand. You definitely can't do that. But hey, this is MMA. Anything can happen, right? What do I know? Also, I noticed that when Urijah faces high-level Muay Thai fighters, he has a problem with distance. Every good striker knows this. The first step to winning a striking battle is to control distance. What distance can I use my weapons and stop you from using yours? Muay Thai fighters fight at a kicking distance because Muay Thai fighters are more comfortable with kicking. If they can keep you at a kicking distance, they are fine and happy because they've left you with a weapon that you're not comfortable with, your kicks. So what do? Take away that weapon they're comfortable with and leave them with the weapon they're not comfortable with, which is their hands. And how do you do this? Same way a Muay Thai fighter will do it. If you try punching him, guess what? He'll punch you back. So if he tries kicking you, you gotta kick him back. So in this fight, Urijah needs to throw more kicks. He needs to use a full arsenal of striking techniques, and he needs to attack Barao with everything he's got. Lastly, Urijah needs to make this an ugly fight, and to do that, he needs to grapple. In their last fight, I counted like 2 takedown attempts, maybe 3 the whole fight. That's not even close to being enough. You gotta keep Barao guessing. Urijah is very good when there is chaos in the octagon. That's usually how he catches guys with something. So he needs to make this an ugly fight, because if he tries to keep it technical against Barao, he'll lose every single time. As for Renan Barao, he just needs to do exactly what he's been doing, being dynamic and unpredictable. He needs to keep it technical, be surgical in his approach, try to pick him apart, back him up, use your Muay Thai, defend the takedowns, and just do what he does best. You know, this fight is very exciting to me because Urijah is on fire right now. And they also brought in an amazing striking coach, Dwayne Bang Ludwig. So I'm looking forward to seeing changes in the way Urijah strikes in this next fight. I can't wait for it. It's going to be a great fight. Now my prediction for the fight. I don't think Urijah Faber can beat Renan Barao. Why? Because Renan Barao has more weapons. He's more dynamic. I think he's more intelligent than Urijah Faber. And I just think he's the better fighter. So I predict a 5-round unanimous decision. And still, the UFC undisputed bantamweight champion of the world, Renan Barao. Keep yourself safe, guys. Love you guys.